Hi, today's review is on the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs, and I already did this review, but I'm just redoing it again, just because the lighting is better, and I've read the 6 books since. So the Mercy Thompson series, there is 6 books in all so far, and the sixth one, Rivermarked, was just released on the 1st of March, and I'm not sure when the 7th one will be out. Um, I'm not even 100% sure whether there will be 7, but I'm pretty sure there will be. But there's no word yet on when that's out. Um, so the Mercy Thompson series, um, it's it's not unique, as in there's lots of series out there that have a similar premise. So it's a world made up of kind of werewolves and vampires and fae. So that aspect isn't terribly new, but I find the fact that the protagonist, Mercy, short for Mercedes, Mercy, she has the ability to turn into a coyote. And I haven't seen that before, and she lives in a world surrounded by werewolves. So she grew up with werewolves, being the only were-coyote. Her next door neighbour is a werewolf, so she's been around them her whole life. And so she's like a lone coyote living in a werewolf world. And that aspect of the story really appealed to me. So that's kind of why I decided to read the series. And um, overall, the 6 books, they're exciting, they're well paced, with good stories, and a really good protagonist, I think. And there's really, the best thing though is the characters. There's a great bunch of characters, and the relationships between the characters, and there's a really nice romance story as well going along with it. And it's not the main focus of the books, which is good. The romance is kind of on the side, and which is nice. There is one thing with the storylines. Sometimes they might get a bit overcomplicated. I found myself thinking, why did they do this, or what happened here? And so sometimes it was a little difficult to follow, and I felt the author needed just to rein it in a little bit and kind of calm down and take the story back and make it a little more simpler, just a tiny bit. But besides that, they were good stories and exciting to read, and I really enjoyed them. Definitely, I find the series is a mix between the Shifter series by Rachel Vincent and the Kate Daniels series by Alona Andrews. I think it's kind of like a mix between those, and I think they're really good. The 6th book I just read, it wasn't the best in the series, I have to admit. There were better books, but as a whole, I really liked them, especially the characters, and I do recommend them. Oh, definitely. I wouldn't say they're a young adult series, but I say about from like 15 up could read them, no problem. So yes, they're definitely recommended. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to more spoiler review with spoilers. So if you don't want to know, I suggest you switch off now. Oh, Mercy. As I said, I really liked her as a protagonist, particularly because she knows her limits. Like, she knows she's not as strong as the werewolves, and she allows them to kind of front the battle at times. And she accepts the fact that she needs their protection too. Besides the fact that she can turn into a coyote and can see ghosts, which isn't mentioned too often. Um, she's, practically human. Like, she doesn't have these supernatural healing abilities. I think this is refreshing to see. Like, she's not this kind of warrior woman, but she is brave, and she will, fight when she needs to. So yeah, as I said, my favorite part of the series was all the characters and the relationships. So I loved Bran and Z and their fatherly relationship with Mercy. I loved reading those parts, and I loved her friendships with Warren and Stefan, and then Ben. I know at the beginning they kind of had this hate relationship, which gradually kind of progressed, and by the end of like the 5th book, he adores her, and they kind of had this kind of nice relationship going. the triangle in these books, the kind of love triangle, I know usually people hate them, but I really like the one in this book, mostly because it has the best resolution to a triangle I've read. Um, at the beginning, I didn't really know who I wanted to get with, Adam or Samuel. Adam, I felt like him and Mercy did have this kind of sweet relationship, and I liked how it gradually progressed. And I loved when we got to see those subtle kind of hints at his affection for her, like he declared her his mate in his pack, and he always wanted to protect her, and he has a photo of her in his bedroom, and like, but they did have this kind of witty banter and arguing as well, so I thought they were a good couple, but and then they kind of fell in love more and more, so I was really happy they kind of got together in the end of it, because they were a good couple. But Samuel, I thought he was just such a likeable character, and like you couldn't help but just want him to be happy, and like after a while I was thinking, oh, I want Mercy to give him a baby because he wanted one so much. But yeah, initially, although I did not like the fact that he was like over 100 and she was only 16 when they first got together, but I got over that. And by the end of it, I really understood why she couldn't be with Sam, because they figured out that they loved each other but they weren't in love. So, all parties involved got to be satisfied by the end. So, it was a nice resolution. The werewolves in this series, I have to say they're the most extreme kind of werewolves I've read about, in that their instincts are so kind of animalistic, and the wolf and the man are like a separate thing, or well, they are a separate thing, and sometimes the wolf might override the man, and that was different to read about. I haven't read about werewolves in that way before, so that was interesting to read. I didn't like the whole psychic connection thing, like between all the pack members. I don't like those types of psychic connections and reading your minds or reading your emotions. I don't like that type of thing. And they kind of brought it in with Adam and Mercy after a while, after she joined the pack. But I suppose it's okay that they don't overdo it. So it's not too bad yet. The political world in these books, it was written well, like the whole werewolves and fae and vampires, and it's good that you're not overwhelmed, because I find the author focuses on one per book, so like the fae are kind of the primary element in the storyline in one book, and the vampires might be another one, and then the werewolves, and they go back, and so it's nice that you kind of just get one focus per book. I just finished the 6th book, and as I said, it wasn't my favourite. I feel like, I know the author wanted to get in a lot of the Native American lore and culture and all that, but I felt she spent too long explaining it. Like every chapter there was some like legend or story, and it's like I'm reading it not to be educated about Native American culture. I'm reading it because I like the story and the characters. So yeah, so I think she spent a bit too long on that. And but besides that, Adam and Mercy were great together, and their wedding was nice, and I really liked the first chapter. But yeah, so I'm hoping the next book will be a bit better. So yes, but then there are my main points. Overall, I love the series, and I think it's great. And when I read it, I couldn't wait to read the next one. I think I read them all in the space of like 3 or 4 days. So they're really, I think, a good page turners. So so that's my review, and if you have any comments on this, if you have any opinions on the series, leave them in the comments. And thanks very much for watching my review today.